Okay, this has been happening a lot lately over the last like 3 or 4 years, I've found. And it happened again with this movie. 2/3 of it are okay. Not great, but good. And then once the third act starts, it gets Silent Hilled. Welcome to Happywax TV. Okay, tonight we are talking The Long Night. And in case you're wondering what I meant about getting Silent Hilled, let me explain. Years ago, when the movie Silent Hill came out, I remember sitting in the theater. Okay, and yes, I know it's based on the video game, but I remember sitting in the theater watching that movie, and I was just in awe of how amazing it looked. How they made this city, or this town, look. It was just full of gloom and doom and depressing. The people in it looked fantastic. The creatures, which for the most part were practical, absolutely amazing. Right up until the third act. And then this happened. And it was right at that point when they went through the doors of that church that this movie shit the bed. It turned into a fucking witch movie. I hate it. I absolutely hated it. Everybody I went with to the theater, we were all like, what the fuck was that? Yeah, I know it's based on the video game, but it was mind-boggling how the first 2/3 of that movie could be so amazing, and then the last quarter, it sucked. It really did. And it's the same with this movie, The Long Night. The first 2/3 of this movie are good. They're not great, but they're good. And then the ending, the final act of this movie is the lamest cop-out, just boring. Like I don't know if they ran out of money or if they didn't have an idea for an ending, or if something happened and it had to get changed, I don't know. But the lead up to what happens at the end was absolutely unforgivable. It really is. Let me read the synopsis. A devoted couple's quiet weekend takes a bizarre turn when a nightmarish cult and their leader come to fulfill an apocalyptic prophecy. Okay, well, the two main stars of this movie are Scout Taylor Compton and Noel Gerard Funk. Now, they play boyfriend and girlfriend. In the first act, we're introduced to them. We get their background history. She never met her parents, grew up in a foster home. She's got word that this guy who lives in this buttfuck nowhere town has clues, to her family, and she wants to go learn about this, right? So they pack up and they go to see this guy, right? But he wants them to come to her. So on the way there, they stop at his parents' house, the boyfriend's parents' house, Jack's. And we don't actually see this scene, but we see the aftermath where Jack's parents are rich, okay? They're absolutely stinking rich, and Jack seems like a spoiled little prick, which he is. And through conversation, we learned that they were kind of hard on Grace, and he didn't really defend her, so that just gets kind of the bad blood flowing before they even get to this place that they're supposed to go to meet this guy. And then when they get there, he's not there. So they let themselves into the house and they can't find him. Now they do kind of give clues as to where he might be, because when they walk in the bedroom, Jack, his first reaction is it smells like something died in here. So, I mean, right there, the weird shit starts to happen. And then through the rest of the first act, just kind of strange things happen. Like she starts to see these visions and stuff like that. And then once we get into the second act is when the cult shows up. And I liked this cult, okay? A lot of movies portray cult members as these hillbilly fucktards that show up in like KKK outfits and are bumbling stupid kind of cootery type people, okay? They didn't do this here. I was actually really impressed as to how this cult looked. It was fantastic. They made this leader look almost supernatural with the things that he could do, okay? Like there's scenes where he's like kind of projecting himself into Grace's mind. He's lifting her off the ground, almost seemingly possessing her. You know, nothing really seems to hurt him when they do try to escape. It was great. I really liked how they built this you know, group of cult guys. When they showed up, they looked almost invincible. Now, in the second act, they do start to break into the house and they get killed. So, I mean, it shows that they are human, but still the overall, you know, build-up was fantastic as to this cult being like the real deal and just like a little more otherworldly than most retarded satanic cults look like. Okay, so, and that was great. Okay, I have no problem with that. I had no problem with the acting, although I do find there are not a few, but a lot of scenes where like Grace is having visions or she's having a nightmare or just whatever, and it's like ominous music plays and it's the cult leader standing there with his hands out. Okay, and it wasn't just like once or twice. It was like 6, 7, 8 times. And I even said to myself, I was like, okay, guys, enough with the eerie music / cult leader guy, because it was like almost every other scene was that, him standing there with his arms out. As cool as he looked, I mean, it did get a little bit tiresome. Whatever. Some things you have to accept, but I will not accept the third act of this movie, okay? I'm going to get into spoilers here a little bit. It was, you know, it was just such a great build-up. And then this third act where basically the boyfriend gets captured in the barn. She goes in to help him get out after they've attacked this cult, okay? The cult's there. It's revealed that the cult leader is her mom, and they're trying to bring this demon back to cleanse the world, just like every other fucking cult movie. And they're going to bow down to it. And what happens? I even called it before it happened. She gets possessed. She kills all the cult leaders, making all these supernatural, strong as fuck cult members look like friggin' stormtroopers. Okay, it was terrible. All this lead up for that. So this demon comes back, kills everybody in like a blink of an eye, like a Thanos snap. And then she turns around, kills the fucking boyfriend, and then like, she hasn't transformed or nothing. And then she just walks down this long pathway and then breaks the threshold of where it's been trapped for 400 plus years or whatever onto the dirt road. And then that's the end of the movie. Obviously, it's going to cleanse the world of all the evil. I'm like, that is the lamest fucking cop-out for an ending. Like, again, I don't know if they ran out of money or if they just didn't have a story to end it with. I don't know. It was just, again, okay, you have to watch this movie. Like, listen, this is not a bad, like a terrible movie, okay? It is definitely watchable, but I promise you, you won't remember it 10 seconds after you shut it off, okay? Go watch it. It's out for rent now, okay? And then you can see exactly what I mean. And you will see exactly the moment when this movie gets Silent Hilled. Just like when they walked into the church and everything that had happened for the first 2/3 in Silent Hill went out the window because then it became a fucking dumbass witch movie. The same as this fucking flick. All this lead up to make these cult members seem almost supernatural, to have them just wiped out like that with no fight, no nothing, just like a bunch of fucking stormtroopers. Oh, what a fucking letdown. I don't know. Anyways, that's just my opinion. If you've seen this movie, let me know what you think about it. Again, the acting was on point. There's some great scenes in the first and second act. You know, good cinematography, some background shots, everything. Okay, it's just the third act fucking blew it. So anyways, go rent it. If you've seen it, let me know your thoughts on this flick. If you haven't, go rent it. I mean, it's only $5 and it is worth a one-time watch. Okay, and then come back here. Let me know what you think, guys. And until next time,